Good morning, everybody. I'm a little bit later today, starting at 10:30, so I'm hoping that you all be able to be with me today. I'm going to give a moment for everybody to get on here. So let me bring up my iPad so I can watch the comments. And I thought I turned it down. Okay, there we are. Be sure you comment when you come on so I'll know that you're here. I'm going to give a moment for everybody to get here. So it's not my normal day to be doing Facebook Live, but I'm going to be going camping Wednesday, so I needed to change the date so I'd be able to get one this morning. Hi Jackie, good morning. Hope you're having a good day. Be sure you like and share my video also. So I'm going to go ahead and turn you down here. I've got a little puppy dog that's making all kinds of noise this morning, so I apologize for that. Miss Cookie. Okay, let me turn you around here. If you get dizzy, close your eyes. And we'll try to do this as painlessly as possible. And get everything situated here right. Get my lighting. And my phone's giving me weird messages here, so that's pretty well normal. Let me turn it a little bit, get it straightened out. Let me see if I gotta zoom it in any. I think I will. We're going to be doing 3 cards today. One's going to be a Christmas card, and one's going to be kind of an elegant card, and then the other one is just a hello card. So, only one Christmas. I'm waiting for my iPad to catch up so I can see if this is where I want it to be or not. Got a delay there. And thinking, trying to get it straight so we're not crooked. That might be easier said than done. I think I'm going to go with that. I think that looks pretty good. Like I said, be sure you comment when you come on. Hi Karen, glad you're on here. I hope this will interest you. I don't know if you're a card maker or a scrapbooker, but I'm glad that you're here. Be sure you share the video with your friends also, so that if there's anybody that's a crafter, they might be interested. I'd appreciate that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I think my lighting is pretty good here. I might turn on another one just in case. Let's see what that is. Okay. I think I'm going to move this back just a tiny bit. I can do it without messing it up too much. I can get a full picture here. Oops, and it looks like I went the wrong direction. So, let me, And I don't think Facebook liked that very well because I got the squigglies back this morning. Maybe I'll zoom in just a little bit. Alright, now squigglies go away. We don't need complications this morning. Let me see if that clears up. I guess it didn't like me moving my phone. Alright, so I'll kind of do the talking part here, and there we go, it's clearing up. As you probably know, I'm creating cards with Debbie. My name is Debbie Foster, and I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas, in the United States. And I'm glad that you're able to join me. And with any To shop any of the items that I showed today, you can go on my store, which is www.debbiefoster.stampinup.net. And the host code for November that you would use is 9PSNM43K. So use that code if your order is under $150. Alright, we've got some news that I need to share with everybody here. But in the meantime, if you need to email me with any questions, just email me at creatingwithdebbie179@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to answer any questions or concerns that you might have. Alright, during the month of November, Stampin' Up! Has got a new promotion going on, and we've never been at this price before. It's our starter kit, which is, you pay $75, which is normally $99. But for this month only, until November 30th, you can get your starter kit for $75. And that includes free shipping. All you'd have to pay on top of that would be your sales tax if it applies to you. And you get to pick out $125 worth of merchandise, so you're getting $50 of product free. So, who doesn't like to get free products? And on top of that, after you've signed up and put in your first orders and any orders after that, you'll get a discount on your order of 20%. So, be sure that you get with me, and if you have any questions on that, I'd be glad to help you, and I'd love to have you on my team. We have lots of fun every month and every week. And let me see. And then starting tomorrow, Stampin' Up! Has got a sale, a seasonal sale, which is kind of like our Black Friday sales that the stores do right at Thanksgiving time. But we're a week earlier, so you can stock up and save on cardstock, ink pads, dies. And our cardstock is going to be 10% off, and our ink pads are 15% off, and then our dies are 20% off. So what a bargain. I'm going to have to stock up on my stuff too. And that's running in, it's a 2-day sale. It's November 16th through the 18th. So you can go on to my store and you can shop all those items. I'm going to have to remember to put my order in tomorrow. Okay. So I think that's all of the housekeeping news that we've got to do. So let's go ahead and get started here. I think we're going to start out with our Christmas one, which is this one here. It says sending lots of love. And inside says Santa Paws is coming to town, which is really cute, I think. If you have any pets, that would be a good thing for anyone with pets. Alright, so we're going to get out our bits and pieces. And this will be the stamp set that we're using. It's Sweet Little Stockings. And it also does come with the dies too, but we're not using the dies for this today. We're going to be using the Tasteful Label dies instead. And then our Designer Series paper, which is the Sweet Stockings. And we're going to be using this paper and then the back side of the paper. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that. I feel like I'm hungry this morning. I don't know. You may hear my stomach growling. But anyway, we're going to take this paper and we're going to fussy cut this little dog, this cat in the box, and then this mouse that's carrying a present. But I've already done that because I don't want you to sit and watch me fussy cut. It's kind of time consuming. But here they are already. And let's get our little mouse out here. I think he's cute too. For a mouse, he's cute. As long as he's not in my house running around, I like him. Okay, and we're going to start with our card base, which is a cherry cobbler. Let me put these aside for now so I don't lose them. And our cherry cobbler measures, I might need to get my card and get my instructions. Okay, it measures 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and we've scored it at 5 1/2 inches. So we're going to burnish that edge really good. If you're not able to watch me live today, I'm glad that you're able to watch the replay. And I will be posting it to YouTube later today also, so you can catch it on there if you'd rather watch it there than Facebook. Some people like it better on YouTube. So the designer series paper that we chose is the back side of those little critters. And that measures 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And we're going to go ahead and attach that to our card front. And my favorite adhesive, as you probably noticed, is my Tombow green glue, because I'll have little time to move it around if I need to readjust it. Okay, which I did a little bit. Alright, we're going to glue that down there. And I've already die cut our labels, which I have used. I'll show you the labels that I've used. This one is this one, and this one, and I've cut the cherry cobbler out using this larger scalloped, and then the smaller out of basic white, and these are both basic white cardstock. And oops. So we've already cut those out to save a little time. I'm going to put my dies away. And these dies, like I said, was from the Tasteful Label dies. And there's quite a few in there. There's, what is there? You got 10 dies in here. I'm going to use my magnetic dish to put my dies in so I don't lose them. And we'll put them away later. Alright, so we've cut out our kitty cat, we've cut out the dog, and we've cut out the mouse. So we're going to go ahead and do some gluing here. At first I'm going to stamp some stars, and I'm using Bumblebee. What have I done with my... Let me get my piercing that out here. Ignore the dirty cover here. I didn't get a chance to change it this morning. I don't know if you can, the camera doesn't really pick it up, but it gives a little ridge going around the edges of all of them, which is kind of an added bonus there. There we go. Good morning, Marlene. Hey, glad you could come. Hey, why don't you stick around for a while and watch what I'm doing? I'd love to have you here. Okay, so we're going to do just the stars at the top of this label. And I'm kind of turning them. I'm not doing them all the same. Alright, so that's going to be the one for the cat. Now this is for the dog. I'm going to put more on this one to kind of fill in the white space. And I'll turn that. Hope everybody's having a good day today. We've got beautiful sunshine out here in Arkansas today, so I'm enjoying that. And I think it's supposed to be fairly nice today too, so I need to get out and get a little sunshine, some vitamin D later today. Okay, so I think that's enough on that one, but we're not going to put any on the mouse one, so we're just going to leave that. And I'm going to close up my ink pad here. And we'll start assembling here. Am I off camera here? I'm kind of watching here. I don't really want to move it because then it's going to mess up on me. So I'll just leave it as is, and I'll kind of watch my screen to see that you're able to see what I'm doing. So we're going to glue this directly to the card, and we're going to pop up our animals. So I'll bring that glue back in here again. And we're going to glue that to the left side of our card front. And then we're going to glue this one to the upper right side. And let's glue our little circle onto our cherry cobbler one. And we're going to center that. And now we're going to put our critters down. And looking for my cover for my glue here. And I'm going to use some dimensionals. And my take your pick tool to pop those backings off. And go ahead and start putting some on our critters. A different sheet here. And I think I'm going to get a little one here to put on his tail. Right there. So he's going to sit right here. And we're not going to pop the mouse up. We're going to put him directly onto this, but we're going to put dimensionals on the back of the die cut circle. Put that there for now. I'll go ahead and put some dimensionals on the back of the kitty cat. This is really a normal thing for cats to do. Anytime there's a box, they'd rather play with a box than they would their toys. So we're going to go ahead and place the kitty cat down. You want to make sure you don't put your designer series paper sticking out past the edge of your card, because you won't be able to fit it in the card or the envelope. So let's go ahead and take the backings off of our dog. I still got to get myself ready for camping. I've got to go do some shopping this afternoon to get our supplies, and then I need to figure out what clothes I need to put in the camper, so I haven't done that yet, but it won't take me very long. We're just going to be doing a 3-day camping trip, so we don't need a whole lot. And it's just the two of us, so we won't need a lot of food. Alright, I'm going to wait on that for a minute because I want to stamp our sentiment. And did I get a scrap of paper for that? No, I didn't. So I've got some right here. When you cut off your strips of your paper, I always save them because I can use that for the sentiments. I won't have to cut another sheet just to do that. So we're going to use the cherry cobbler and a sentiment which says sending lots of love. And I want to bring my piercing mat back over here because we're photopolymer. It needs a little cushion. So I'm inking it up with the cherry cobbler ink. I'm not sure if I said that or not. And put that on there. Close up our ink pad. And I'm just going to snip off the edge of this, and then I'm going to come in with my the Banner's Pick-a-Punch, which has two different surfaces here. So we're going to go with using the flag end. I guess that's what you call it. So let me cut this off flush with that side, and then I'm going to cut that off so I can put it in our punch here. And I want to punch out this end. So I like to turn them upside down and place them in there, because that way I can see, make sure I'm not punching out the stamped image part. So just pop that off of there. And here we have that. And I'm not going to put that on dimensionals. I'm just going to, oh, and I did it the wrong way. Well, I can always put it over this side. We're going to change this card up a little bit. I did that the wrong side. I wanted it to be this side flagged, so I could have put that there, but that's all right. There's never nothing in crafting that you can't fix usually. And our Tombow glue. We'll place that on the left side of our card front. At the bottom. Oops. Alright, there we go. And now we're going to glue our little mouse and package to the front of our other label there, our circle label. And we'll place them right in the center of that white paper. And now we can take off the backings. We had our onstage at home virtual convention this last weekend. So this is the paper that we got. I love it. I wish they would come out with this pattern because it's very pretty and very soft. I like it. So we're going to place the mouse right about there. So here we have him. And now we're going to work on our inside of our card, which is our basic white, and that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then I've got a little strip of the designer series paper, and I kind of switched this out because I used some of the paper that had the dog and cat on it, and then I glued that to the bottom of that. But I'm going to change it out, and I'm going to use just the other side of it, which matches the card front. But first we're going to stamp in case we have some boo-boos that we have to fix. I'm going to do our sentiment, which says Santa Paws is coming to town, and we're using the cherry cobbler again. I'm trying to see my comments. They're not showing up here. Okay. Good morning, Paula. Hi, Diane. Glad you're here. Be sure you like and share the video. I'd appreciate that. If you missed any of the first part, you can go back and watch the replay later. We're just getting started. We're still working on the first card yet. Alright, Santa Paws is coming to town. And then I'm going to come in with our little stars again, and I'm going to add a little bit to our sentiment here. And I'm going to put 3 stars at that side and another 3 stars up at this side. Alright. And we'll close up our pad again. And move this out of the way. Close that. I don't need to stick my hands in the ink pads here, so that's why I'm taking the time to close them up before we go on. So here's our little strip of paper, designer series paper, and it measures 1 inch by 5 1/4 inches. It's the same width as our basic white is. So we're going to attach that to the bottom of our card. And just picking it up to make sure it's straight. And there we go. Alright, so here we have the inside. So we'll go ahead and attach that to the inside of our card. And I don't know if I said, but this, oh, I'm opening it sideways, so it's a little bit different. I'm not sure what you'd call that. I don't know. It's not a book fold. I don't know. But I like to change up my cards a little bit sometimes, having them open different ways. Alright, so there we have Santa Paula's is coming to town and sending lots of love. But we need a little bling here, so we're going to add an already tied a bow using the Bumblebee gingham ribbon. And this ribbon too, you can use your blends to color it if you'd like, so you can change the color of it. But we're leaving the Bumblebee because we got Bumblebee and our dog here, so I'm bringing in my glue dots. And, oops, I almost had an accident there, losing glue dots all over the floor. So I'm going to take your pick tool, and I'm going to pop one of those glue dots off of there, maybe. And we're going to place it right on the Christmas box that the cat's playing in. Who has cats or dogs? We have both, so okay. I think I'm going to trim off my ribbon a little bit there, and there. And then we've got, in that same suite with the dogs, there's the matte decorative dots. And we're going to be using the Bumblebee one. And we're going to be using 3 of them, I should say. And I'm using the medium size. There's 3 sizes, a small, medium, and large. But we're going to use the medium size today. And I'm just going to place those in the center between the dog and the cat. I always do my embellishments in odd numbers, so I'm doing 3 of those. And it looks crooked to me. Yes, it is crooked. Well, come on, move over. Okay, I guess it wants to be there. Be that way. Alright, so we're going to set those aside. And I came in with my Wink of Stella, and I kind of blinged up the ribbon on the mouse package here that he's carrying, just to get it a little extra bling. So here's our card, sending lots of love. And the inside says, Santa Paws is coming to town. And I think it's a real cute card for us pet lovers. Okay, let me tidy up here a little bit and we'll get to our next card. I'm going to get these glue dots out of the way before they stick to everything. Okay, put those there. We're done with that. Oops, sorry for the noise. And my trash. Okay, this is our next card. And the inside. And this is using Eden's Garden. Which this is a stamp set. And here are the dies that go with that. And We're also going to be using the stitched rectangles. We're going to be using this one right here. Let me get all my supplies out here. Okay. Picking out the dies that I'm going to be using. Excuse the crinkling paper, I'm not sure. Usually the camera picks up those noises really well. Okay. So we're using the paper, which is called Ever Eden, and it's the 12 by 12 sheets, double-sided, and the cotton paper, Ever Eden cotton paper. And this comes in the soft succulent and evergreen colors. So there's two colors in there. And the papers that we're going to be using are going to be this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. There's 5 different ones that we're using. Let's see if the camera picks up all those. And then here's the other side of those, if you wanted to know. Gorgeous papers. I love these papers. But these are only going to be available until, well, while supplies last. And I think it runs until, is it January? The end of December? I should have checked my dates. So it's while supplies last, so. Okay, this one and this one. I think that's the only 2 that I'm using of the dies. So we'll put those aside. But I've done most of the die cutting and everything already, so you don't have to painfully watch me do that. And we're getting squigglies again. Yes, it is, Diane. I love that paper. I wish they would carry it over. Okay. So we're going to start assembling our card here. And I've done a lot of the die cutting already, so you don't have to sit and watch me. So we're going to start with our card base, which is our thick basic white. And that's 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and then we've scored it at 4 1/4 inches. So I'm just going to burnish that. Okay, my screen's trying to straighten out here. It's just taking its sweet time. I'm not sure if it's a Facebook thing or what it is. But it's aggravating. And then we've got a sheet of basic black. It's going to be our matte, and that's 4 1/8 inches. By 5 3/8 inches. And we're not going to glue that down yet because we're going to put our ribbon along the bottom of that. And I've also die cut, this is the cotton paper, and I die cut it using our edge die that's in the Eden Garden dies. And it's sort of like tissue paper, a heavier tissue paper. It's hard to describe. It's got its own consistency. It's nothing like I've seen really before, so it's really different. But we're going to use our tear and tape to place that down and get the edge of our tape here. And let me see where I want to put it so I get a general idea. And I think right about there would be good. And we're sticking to the fingers. And hopefully we're fairly straight here. Oopsie. And it does stick stick really good, so you got to be careful how you're placing it. Make sure you get it where you want it. And we're going to take your pick tool and take off the backing of that tape, like so. And now we're going to attach our paper down to that. I'm just kind of figuring out where I want to place it at. And hopefully it's fairly straight. I think it's pretty good. It's kind of hard to judge because not all of these are the same length, so you gotta guess a little bit. We're going to turn it over and trim off our excess. Okay. And now we can go ahead and put our ribbon on there. And the ribbon that we're using is our Evening Evergreen, the open weave ribbon. It's very pretty. It's sheer and it's very easy to work with. And we're just going to use that to cover up our seam of our die cut there. So I'm just going to cut that off. Let me get rid of that. I need to clean my scissors. I need to get out my alcohol and my what do I use? I use cotton balls, I guess, or the makeup remover, gauze pads, I guess is what I use. And we're going to come in with our stamp and seal. Attach our ribbon on the other side, but I didn't have that out, so I have to grab it here. And we're just going to put a small strip on each side just to hold our ribbon. And get that to start rolling. Sometimes you got to help it along. And okay. I don't know where I do the lid. What I do the lid? Okay, so we're going to turn it over, make sure that our ribbon's right where we want it to be. And stick it to our stamp and seal on the other side. And I'm going to line it up with our embossed line right there. Which means it's kind of embossed and it's a line stitching. Okay. Alright. So now we can glue that down to the front of our card. You can either use your Stamp and Seal or Seal Plus or a tape runner or liquid glue, whichever you prefer to attach this to the card front. I'm just making sure I got that opening right. And we're going to leave a slight border going around the whole thing. And press that down. Now we're going to set that aside because we're going to work on our die cut designer series paper. And we're going to start out with our basic white. This is going to be our mat for our designer series paper, and this measures 3 inches by 4 7/8 inches. And I've already die cut our designer series paper out, so I'm just going to see how I want to lay these out. Did I have another one here? Yeah. And this one goes first. And they stuck together. Yeah. And then this one, and this one, and then this one at the edge. So we're going to go ahead and glue those down to the mat here, our white mat. The other sides are pretty too. It's hard to decide which side to use. I like them all. And we're going to center that to the left side of our basic white. And I want to leave a tiny border going around it on the 3 sides. And Same with this one. I was thinking I might have started with the two outside ones, but I think I'm going to just butt them up against each other instead. It's so quiet now. Cookie settled down. She was all upset because her dad came home, brought a few groceries in, and then he went out again, and that makes her so mad. She is definitely a daddy's girl. He can't get out of her sight, it seems like, without her having a fit. Okay, and then our next one, and then our final one. All right, and I think I might trim the edge of my white mat. I'm going to cut off that one edge there. Let me bring in my mini paper trimmer. And this isn't available. I shouldn't be using things that aren't available. I think it was last celebration that Stampin' Up! Was offering this to anybody new that signed it. So I'm hoping one day they might bring it back to be for sale for everybody, because it's a really handy gadget. Instead of dragging out your big paper trimmer, you got little things to do like this. Alright, so we're going to attach that to the front of our mat with our adhesive, and we're going to just center that on top, and I want to leave a little bit of an edge on the top and then a larger edge on the sides. Hope that's straight. Doesn't really look straight. It's down pretty good now, so it's going to have to stay there. Alright, there we are. And then I've got our basic black. I die cut this out already. And then I've got a piece of the white, basic white, and it's a little strip that's a 1/2 inch by 2 1/4 inches. And we're going to stamp our sentiment on there. Oops, that's a little bit bigger. We're going to trim that down. Bring that trimmer back over here. Did I measure that wrong? Yeah, it might have been measured a little bit too big. So we're going to snip a little bit of that off. And I hope I didn't do too much that I can't stamp on it. Let's see. Alright, we're going to stamp on it first and then we'll trim it down. So our sentiment is hello there. And we're using our Evening Evergreen ink pad to do that with. Let me put this down in my magnetic bowl so I don't lose it. Alright, oops, I think I got plenty of ink on there. Let me put something underneath there to stamp it. And that looks pretty good. Put our ink pad aside for a moment. And I'll just use my scissors to trim this down. We want it to be able to fit on our label there. Yeah, that works. So let's cut that down shorter. Get rid of the trash. And we're going to use our liquid glue. And I've got paper sticking to my finger. So we're going to bring this over here and we're going to center that in the center of our label. I guess I didn't cut that really straight, but you gotta look closer before you notice it. That's part of our card making. We're not perfect, and no two cards are exactly alike. Okay, so we're going to place this up on dimensionals. I'm going to use my black dimensionals because we've got our black cardstock that were used. And I think I'm going to put 3 on here to help support it, 1 in the middle and then 1 on each side. And take the pick tool to pop those backings off. I don't have any fingernails, so that works the best for me to use my tool. Take your pick tool, which can be found in my store also. And we're going to just lay that in the center. Alright, and then I've tied a little bow already, and I use that open weave evening evergreen again to make a bow. And I made a double bow, which is you wrap it around twice and then tie it. It kind of gives it a little more substance. And I need my mini glue dots back here again. And I'm going to take your pick tool and pop that off. We're going to stick it right on the edge of our label. And let me get another one because I kind of squished that one up a little bit. Oops, where did it go? I thought I had it. I thought it went flying somewhere. I don't know. I'll find it later. Alright, they're not being very cooperative today. It wants to stick to everything that it's not supposed to. Alright, so there's our little bow on there. And I'm also going to bling it up. We're going to use our Gilded Gems, the gold Gilded Gems. And I've got a sheet here that I'm already working on, so I won't open a new one. I'm going to use take your pick tool, the gummy side of it, to go ahead and pick those up. I'm going to use the larger ones. I'm going to place one right there at that edge of that. And then we're going to add 2 more other ones. So maybe one right there and maybe another. Oops. Putty on that one. This is always the hardest part, is deciding where to put our gems at. Let's put it right there. Okay. So there's the outside of our card. Very pretty. So now we're going to stamp the inside. And I'm not going to put a layer in here if I don't mess up. I shouldn't say that because I could mess up and have to add a layer, but we're just going to stamp it directly on the card base. And I'm going to put the dear friend, how are you, on the inside. So we're using the evening evergreen again. And I'm just going to stamp that in the center. And then I've got that little flower, or little leaf. We're going to put that on the inside also. And how did I do that? Okay. And I'm just going to put one at the bottom. And we're going to turn it and put one at the top also. Okay. Alright, so that came together pretty good. Here's the outside. Hello there. Dear friend, how are you? Okay, so that's our second card. So let's go on to our third card. And I'm running a little bit over, so I've got a lot of this already done ahead of time, I'm hoping, so I should save a little time for everybody. The paper that we're using is the Simply Elegant. Let me close up this ink pad here. We don't need that one anymore. And the stamp set is the Elegantly Said. And we're using the punch that comes with this bundle, which is called the Elegant Tag Punch. I don't know, you're probably getting a lot of glare from that, so. But that's what we're using today. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Sort these away so I don't lose them. Let's get our bits and pieces out here. And let me show you the card. I didn't do that. So here's the card. It's kind of a fun fold, and it opens this way. So this area is just a flat card base. It doesn't open at all. But you could do that. You could do a double fold. And so... And okay. Make sure I have the right instructions here. So we're going to start out using our gray granite. I couldn't think of it was our gray granite cardstock, and that's going to be our card base, and that's going to measure 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. And we've got a mat for that, which is our basic black, and that measures 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And then our designer series paper, which measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. I had to look at my directions there. I have a few things wrote down, so I had to make sure I was given the right ones. So we're going to go ahead and glue these together. Hope everybody's getting some crafting time in this week. I might take something with me camping. I'm not sure yet. Have to see how I get things together. And then our designer series paper, which one side has the foil like, and the other side is just a matte, a flat. So we got bling on one side and no bling on the other side. So we're going to attach that to the front of our black mat. And we're just leaving a tiny, tiny border going all the way around that. So it would look like this. And now we're going to work on our little fun fold portion. And this measures, it's the same cardstock that we used for the base of that card. And that measures 2 7/8 inches by 3 inches by 10 inches, and then it's scored in the middle at 5 inches. I was looking at the wrong instruction there. And we're going to burnish the edge of that. And the same with this, we're going to do the mats the same way. We've got the basic black mat, and that is 2 7/8 inches by 4 7/8 inches, and then the designer series paper is 2 3/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches. So we're going to go ahead and glue those down. And just kind of making sure I got the right side of my paper here. You can kind of decide if it's the right side, because the way it's cut, you can kind of follow that to make sure it's down instead of sticking up. I don't know, that doesn't really explain it really well. Hope you understand what I said. Alright, so we're going to glue that down. Then we're going to glue our designer series paper down to that. I'm kind of rambling here, I'm sorry. And I'm going to glue that down. There's not really a right side for this designer series paper, because it's got some going upside down, and then it's got some going right side up, so it doesn't really matter how you place it. So there we have that. Now we're going to use, we're going to set that aside for a moment, because we're going to do some embossing. Do I have time to do any embossing? I might just skip that. But I'd like to show you though, so let's go ahead and do some embossing. I'm sure you won't mind. If you have to leave, just go ahead and catch the replay where you missed. So anyway, I've cut out the tag with using the silver foil paper, and then I've cut one out using the basic white. So on the basic white, we're going to stamp on that and then emboss it. So let me bring my supplies out here. I even opened a brand new Versamark ink pad because I think my other one was getting kind of low and it wasn't working really well, so I'm hoping this one does better. And we're going to take our flourish that's in that stamp set, and we're going to use that onto the inside of our card. And I want to make sure I get that inked up really good. Oh yeah, it feels like it's doing good. So I'm just going to place that along the bottom. Yeah, we'll let it sit there for a moment. Oh, and I should have used my fabric sheet to get rid of any static cling. So let me use that before we go on. We used to have a stamping embossing buddy, but since now they've taken it away from us. That's not in the book anymore. So I don't want to use anything that you can't purchase. So I'm just using a dryer sheet, fabric sheet, to try to get rid of some of the static cling. Or you could use, some people have put baby powder into a little baby stocking or something, and they use that. I hadn't tried that yet. Guess because I don't have no babies in the house. Alright, that. And now we're going to use this one here to put at the bottom of our tag. Alright, and then our For You sentiment is going to go on there also. And, okay, set those aside, put my lid on my Versamark before I get the powder out here. So I'm using the copper embossing powder, and I'm just going to dump it onto my card base. And the same with this one, and then we'll lift them up and shake off the excess. And then just kind of tap the paper. And the same with this one. And if you have any that kind of gets carried away here, you can come in with a small brush and just drag across it and knock it off of there. And okay, so we're ready to emboss these. And I apologize, I don't have the Stampin' Up! Embossing gun, so I'm still using the generic one. So when that quits working on me, I guess I'll get the Stampin' Up! One. But I couldn't see getting a new one until this one goes kapooey on me. We're going to heat up our heat gun, and I apologize for the noise. And we're just going to heat this up. You can tell that it's done when it changes color. It kind of gets a high gloss to it. Okay, so allow for your heat gun to get really hot to do its job. So just give it a moment. Be patient with it. Almost done with this one. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not, but it is gorgeous. I love it. And it always amazes me when I do embossing, heat embossing. It's fun to watch it change colors. I don't know, there's something about that that is thrilling to me. Don't take much to make me happy. Alright, now I've moved my paper here, but that's okay, we're almost in. Maybe I can straighten it out a little bit here. And the heat gun kind of made the paper raise up a little bit. Well, we're going to just ignore it for now. Okay, and I've already cut out the silver tag, so we're snipping that right in half because we're going to layer that behind our other white tag. And I'm going to use glue dots because the foil sometimes glue doesn't stick real well to it, so we're going to use the mini glue dots to attach that. So I'm going to get my take your pick tool to get off some of those so I have control of them. And we're just going to stick it right there on each side. And the same with the top one. And we got that. So now we're just going to place it underneath our tag. And we want to see which is most appealing. I don't really want to put it clear up. I want to kind of leave it down a little bit, just to give it some dimension. I'm going to do the same with the bottom one. And I'm matching up the sides. Alright, so it'll look like this, and hopefully I got it straight on the back. It looks good. Alright, we're going to place that up on dimensionals, and I'm going to use the black dimensionals again. Only because I can. And we'll put one there. Besides, I need to use up this sheet of black dimensionals so I can open a brand new one. That's always a thrill. Okay, let's put a little one over here. And another edge up here. So don't forget the edges of your dimensionals. Those are still very useful. Don't throw them away. Okay, oops, it's sticking to my fingers here. Clean that off so I can get some more here. Okay, I should have glued this down first. I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm going to set that aside because we need to glue this to the inside of our little flap card, our fun fold. So using the adhesive again, we're going to put that on there, and then we're going to put this on the inside. I feel embossing powder on my paper here. Okay. Maybe should have used more glue. Come on, stick. Okay. So there we go, the inside. Now the outside. And we're going to attach this to the front of our card. So I'm going to put quite a bit of glue on here because we've got like a foil paper to make it stick. And we don't want our cards falling apart, do we? Alright, and we're going to place that in the center of our card front, our card base. And I'm going to keep an edge going around both sides, and then a smaller one at the top and the bottom. So I think that looks pretty good. And with the liquid glue, you do have time to move it if you need to. Yes, Diane, so do I. I use every bit of it, of my dimensionals. And sometimes the outer edges work really good if you're got a long strip that you want to use. You can cut it all off that way too. So waste not, want not, I say. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and attach our tag to the front of that. And I want to place it in the middle, kind of at an angle. I'm not putting it straight up and down. And then we're going to bring those glue dots out again so we can attach our gold trim. And this comes from the Simply Elegant trim. And it's in that same suite as the paper and the stamp set. And it has the silver or the gold. But we're using the gold one today. And I made a double bow with that also. So let's bring our glue dot out here and we'll put that down. going to put it right at the top of that little thing there. Whatever it's called, that little thing. Alright. Okay. And I didn't add any more bling because the paper has quite a bit of bling in it, so I'm thinking that would be fine. But you could add some silver rhinestones or anything that you had that would go with that. But I left it just the way it was, so here's the outside, the inside. And you could also put another piece of white paper on the back side if you wanted to write your message there. So, but I like this fun fold. It's probably one of my favorites. So let me know what you think about it. Be sure you share and like the video, like I said. And let me clean up a little bit here, and we'll bring on our cards before we close up here today. Try to get the right one here. So here's our Christmas card, our doggy one, and our hello there. And I'm just going to make sure that these all get in the camera view. I have a delay on the iPad, so it takes a moment. But I think that looks pretty good. We can maybe move this over a tiny bit. So I hope you enjoyed the cards today, and I hope you'll join me next week, which will be, I didn't even get my calendar out here. Where's my calendar? Well, next week is Thanksgiving week, so let me see. Can we still schedule one for that Wednesday, the 24th? I think we could. I know a lot of us will probably be busy cooking, but maybe you want to take a break from all that to sit down and see some cards or something that I do. So let's go with the 24th, November 24th, for our next Facebook Live at 10 o'clock. So I'm not sure what we're making yet, but it'll be something. I'm not sure. I might go, maybe more Christmas or maybe not Christmas. I don't know. I got to think about it. If you have any suggestions, be sure you let me know. And if I have the stamp sets and the supplies, I'll certainly work something up. So, but for now, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for coming today. Enjoy your day. Get some crafting time in this week if you can. And I'll see you next week. Bye.